0. So we're trying to establish Louisiana, which we didn't quite get to last time. And if I fail to record and upload this properly so that it's accessible to everybody, then you're not responsible for the content. But we will have lived and suffered through the establishment of colonial Louisiana together, no matter what the historical record says later. Elijah? What's the question again?
If we fail to establish Louisiana right now, will it just fail, like cease to exist?
No. But it will seem as if, to the future historians going back to try and remember what happened in History 310 on the morning of whatever day of February 25th. They will be unable to verify that we actually discussed colonial Louisiana. And if I fail to record it properly, you're not responsible for the historical content in future exams. So here we go. There is the man of the hour, last class, LaSalle, René Robert Cavalier Sieur de LaSalle, but we can just remember him as LaSalle. Noteworthy because he did follow the Mississippi River all the way down to the coast. He did establish that little coat of arms, claiming it in the name of France and naming it after Louis XIV, Louisiana. But then, of course, he had some trouble. There's Louisiana. There's an image of him putting up a pillar with the French royal coat of arms and so forth. But then, of course, he had trouble finding it. He got funding for an expedition to come back and had trouble finding the location, in part because the Native Americans, once he departed, almost instantly took down the French royal coat of arms and tore it up into souvenirs and different types of things they could use it for. But also because there's, again, the mouth of the Mississippi River. It looks awfully complex from the water, and I'll show you if you are interested in a map a little bit later. He could not recognize it from the water and sailed all the way to Texas. And then ultimately, after proposing that they walk back to Canada, he was killed by some of his men. So we failed to establish Louisiana the first time around, and here is our next attempt. There is a map of the actual, I'm going to use my space age laser pointer. Laser pointer, activate. So this is what he was shooting for, the mouth of the Mississippi River, in order to claim it for France, one of the most important waterways he now realized in North America. And this is his actual route as he sailed right past it, couldn't recognize it, and ended up in Texas. Walked back, did find it, and then proposed walking back to Canada, and thus ended his days. Just for fun, if you're interested in this history, I have included this link in the PowerPoint, so you can open that up and follow the link. Texas A&M archaeologists have found one of the sunken ships. They had really bad luck on the expedition, but the ship sank, I think, in Galveston Harbor, or Matagorda Bay, and all of the colonial supplies were on board, so it's an incredible time capsule. And you can explore. Texas A&M has all of the artifacts digitized. You can explore them. All of the cargo that he thought he needed to establish a colony was on board that ship and intact, and it has been raised, and you can visit it and explore it, including a mystery chest. Texas A&M is trying to really play this up. There is a chest with a lock on it that has never been opened since 1684 when the ship sank. 1687, excuse me. So the link is there just in case you're curious and want to go check it out. Well, France finally had a little bit of success establishing colonies in that part of the world in 1697. You may remember I asked you where Captain Jack Sparrow used to like to hang out at the start of the class in Pirates of the Caribbean. Do you still remember? Tortuga. That's the beginning of Saint-Domingue, the French colony of Saint-Domingue. Tortuga is that little speck of land, actually about where this arrow ends, just off the northern coast of modern-day Dominican Republic and Haiti, what the Spanish originally called Hispaniola. And because the French buccaneers, the French pirates, had established themselves there and along the eastern third of Hispaniola, in 1697, the Spanish went ahead and ceded that third of the island to France. The Spanish ceded the eastern third to France. It became Saint-Domingue. And from there, the Louisiana expedition was organized a couple of years later. So the expedition would be headed from Saint-Domingue, the French future Haiti, the French colony of Saint-Domingue, up to try and find the Mississippi River one more time in 1699. Here are the two brothers who spearheaded that expedition. Pierre Sieur d'Iberville and Jean-Baptiste Lemoyne, not there on the, oh yeah, the Lemoyne brothers. Jean-Baptiste Lemoyne Sieur de Bienville, the founder of New Orleans. And they could not find the Mississippi River, but they did establish a little French fort near Biloxi. Can I go forward, or do you need this text a little bit more? So they did not succeed in finding the Mississippi River once again, which was one of their primary targets, but they did establish a little fort close to modern-day Biloxi, Mississippi, and then another near Pascagoula. And finally, once they had a beachhead on the Gulf Coast and they began exploring and getting to know the coastline, they found the Mississippi River. And it was a little bit delayed. They finally managed to establish New Orleans, La Nouvelle Orléans, 1718. That is an image of Bourbon Street in the French Quarter where that awful thing happened. Was it New Orleans, New Year's Eve? Right before the Sugar Bowl this year. New Orleans, named after the French port of Orléans. Can you think of someone famous from Orléans? There's a huge giant statue of her in the French Quarter. The Maid of Orléans, who went into battle. Joan of Arc, yeah. And not far away from Joan of Arc is a statue of Bienville, who actually established New Orleans, with the wrong date on the statue, 1719. I'm not sure if it's been a good 12 years since I've stood in front of that statue. I'm not sure if they've fixed it yet or not. But that's one of the fun things about New Orleans. There's a map. Bienville, this is the original establishment of Louisiana, 1699. And he liked this location because you can come in and through Lake Pontchartrain, where all the crawfish, or a lot of the crawfish come from. And there's a little bayou. You can come paddle your canoe almost all the way to the banks of the Mississippi River. So there it is, 8 feet below sea level. You walk up some stairs from the French Quarter, and there is the Mississippi River above you. Okay, have you had enough New Orleans, or do you want to talk about some aspects of New Orleans before we shut down? David? Oh, we're talking about Saint-Domingue? No, this was not claimed by any European power. Just well, technically perhaps by Spain because they had Florida. Later in time, Louisiana, Louisiana is like a juggling. Yeah, later in time, Louisiana passed into and out of French and Spanish hands several times. It's true. But we don't need to worry about that in colonial history. Of Hispaniola? Yeah. All right, so we're going to say goodbye to Louisiana now and see whether or not Dr. Ramsey can successfully save this recording. Let's see, should I push clear? You think stop is the way to go?